Welcome to the Real Craven County Schools podcast. Today we have Lauren Weyand, our school nutrition director. Welcome.
Thank you. It's great to be here, Jen.
Well, I'm so glad that you could come on. We wanted to talk all school nutrition and talk about the great things that are happening for the 24-25 school year. So tell us some of the things that you've got planned for the exciting new school year.
I love it because in the summertime, folks, that you guys are working in the summer. You have nothing to do in the summer. But I tell you, we have been on our booth working really hard to have a great school year of good eats for our students for this 24-25 school year. So we have revamped some of our recipes to include a whole lot more that the kids have been asking for. So we're going to start off the school year with a bang. We have some new recipes that the students would be really excited about. One of them that we've tried today and we've shared with some of our board members today, it's called pizza grilled cheese. And we are so excited about this recipe because we know that students love a grilled cheese and then they love pizza. So we combine the both, and I mean, it's really exciting. So in addition to some of the new recipes, last year, I think over Farm to School Week, we had a few recipes that just hit the target. Kids loved it, and we are bringing those back. Jamaican jerk chicken, curry chicken. We have a colorful calypso rice. Just a few fan favorites, we call them, that we are bringing back on the menu for the school year. So we have that to look forward to. We also have the 16 schools that will continue to eat at no cost. We have universal free breakfast for the students. We also have at two of our high schools, we will introduce it to the third high school when we've worked out some of the difficulties because the one high school is almost twice as big as the other two high schools. But we are going to do a coffee bar for the high schoolers where they go through and they get a iced coffee. But the trick with that iced coffee, it will contain 8 ounces of milk.
Oh, wow.
So that's one of the things that we're realizing, that students, growing teenagers, they need dairy, they need milk for to grow strong bones. And we have lots of athletes in those high schools, and they just do not get enough adequate milk, fluid milk. So that's one of the ways that we are trying to sneak more of what they need in their diet without them even realizing that, hey, they are going to realize it, but they're going to love it so much it wouldn't matter. They're going to want to have it, I guess I should say. So those are some of the new things that are coming down the pipeline for this upcoming school year. And yeah.
Well, let's go back to some of the menu items.
Yeah.
Because pizza was always our Friday go-to when I was in school. So that was always a fan favorite of mine. And then I always wanted it extra crispy. And then grilled cheese was my go-to as like your alternate, like when it wasn't something that you liked. So you've combined both of those into something delicious, which is nice. So that will be something new that will be on the menu. That will be a regular item.
It would be. And we just wanted to start off the school year with that, letting them see that, hey, we've listened to you. We know what you like. And we are even trying to combine the things that you like into one big thing. So it would be on the cycle menu. We have a 5-week cycle menu, so it would be on the cycle menu, I think, a couple times in that cycle as well.
So tell me how parents and students can find where the menus are, because I think sometimes people still don't really know where the menus are located.
That's a great question, Jen, because you're right. It still would be on that link Connect. And you have, if parents aren't already signed up for it, they can go on and get an account, and then they can log into their child's school. And then they would get it's a live document. So even if we have to make a change at the school level, that would be updated. So they can see in actuality what their child what's on the menu for their child that particular day. So they can, great. So it's a link Connect and go to the district and then go to your child's school. And then they would find the menus that we have, weekly menus up.
So they can access it through the Craven County Schools website.
As well, that's exactly right. Yeah. Or they go to Craven County Schools. If you forget, what is that she talked about? Yeah. Just go to Craven County Schools and look at the school nutrition section. Then there will be a link that takes you right to the menu. Just go to your child's school and then it'll be pulled up.
Because I always wanted to know what I was eating for the day. So that's perfect. And the other thing too that we're relaunching this year is our mobile app. And so I'm really excited because everybody wants the information right here, readily accessible on their phone.
Yes.
And so Craven County Schools has a mobile app. And so we're really going to make sure that we push that information out as well.
That's great.
And so you can download that through the Apple Store. So anywhere that you have where you can see the apps that are available, you can type in Craven County Schools and you can see the logo for Craven County Schools, and that's our mobile app. And you can also do it through the Google Play Store as well. And then also on the bottom of our Craven County Schools homepage, it has down at the bottom where you can actually, there's a QR code and it has the link right there for both of the Apple Store as well as the Google Play Store, where you can just take a picture and it takes you straight there, and you can, or click it and it'll drive you there. But the school menus are there too.
That's great. That's so
accessible.
accessible.
It'll be right there on
That's
their
great.
phones to make it so easy. So we're really excited to have that information there.
Perfect.
But the other thing too that I wanted to talk about was that I love that students have a say in regards to menu options.
Oh, yeah.
Because when we were in school, we didn't have a say.
Yeah.
They told you what you were going to have for breakfast and lunch. And so now student voice is so important.
Yeah, we do that every year.
You collect this information when you do Farm to School. And
the food show. And in December will be an annual food show where we have the vendors that we purchase from. We have them come into the school system. Not all students get involved in this though. We have a sample size from each of the schools. So all schools are represented. The faculty and staff at the schools, they would choose the 10 to 15 students that would be invited to attend this food show. And they have different criteria that they would meet. And they come and then they meet with these vendors and they see the new products for the upcoming year. And then they vote on those products and then we menu those items. So again, it's student autonomy. They're telling us what they want. So we have a menu that truly represents what the students in Craven County would like to have or would like to see on the school menu. Next thing, Jen, I wanted to mention, we do have at those schools that eat for free. You know, some parents are just so adamant, or they feel like they have picky eaters, and they think, okay, well, you know what? I just enjoy packing my child's lunch. There's a way to do this and still have the kids get, because, you know, I talked about how there's some key nutrients that students have to have for growth. And you know, if you're packing a healthy meal for your child, if it includes most of the food groups, if not all the food groups. We offer all the food groups at breakfast and lunch for our students, right? So all the key nutrients they're getting at breakfast and at lunch. So what I want to mention to families is that if you are so inclined and you feel like, oh, my child is really picky, I just have to pack their lunch. That child can go through the line. You can pack their sandwich or whatever they have to have at home. You can pack that for them, but then they can go through the line and pick out 3 things on that line. One of them must include a fruit or a vegetable, and then 2 other items, and then that's fine. Then and it's for free. At
so
those
they might
free
as well
schools,
take advantage
they might
of
as well. That's what I'm saying. They might as well take advantage of this, because I know for sure that parents don't pack a milk. Some parents send money to purchase a milk for their child when they're at a school that eats for free. And I'm like, why would you do that? Just have them go through the line, pick out a few more things, and then all of it would be free.
So they're called CEP schools, right? Because it's called Community Eligibility Program.
Yes,
Provision. I always want to say
right,
program. So can we list those schools on our website so when parents aren't sure whether their school is participating in that program, they'll know?
Yep, that's great.
Okay, so let's do
It'll
that.
It'll be listed on the Craven County website, and we would have that done. We'll have that done. And it's the same if your child was participating in this last school year, it will be those same 16 schools, but we would also repost that again this year to ensure that they have that information.
Good. And we can put that on social media too, so that people, if they're not certain whether their school participates or not, that they'll know for certain.
That'll be good.
And the other thing, I was never a big breakfast eater. I think I just woke up and I wasn't hungry, and I was still like trying to like get the sleep out of my eyes. Wasn't really functioning yet. But I know that we provide free breakfast for everybody.
Yes. So it's called Universal Free Breakfast. And this is not, some people are, well, who is funding that? This is not funded by anyone. This is Craven County Schools, and School Nutrition has taken up that tab for the students that normally pay for their breakfast. So it's Universal Free Breakfast. So it means that everybody can go. So there's no excuse. And we even have in the high schools what we call second chance breakfast. So a lot of the high schools.
So like me, when you're not awake.
When you're not awake at 7:30 and you're starting your first class at 8 o'clock or whatever time you start your first class.
7:20 this year.
7:20 this year. So we know time changes as well. Time has changed. Most of those students, they're trying to get themselves awakened. So what happens is that after that first bell goes off, then you have those students now coming through to get a breakfast after that first bell, after the first class, because now they're ready and they're like, okay, I'm ready to go. My stomach is hungry. The stomach is woken up, and then they're ready to eat. We have second chance breakfast at those schools as well. So it's so exciting. We do have one new thing though for this school year. That breakfast is free, but we do have a little bit of a meal and price increase in meals for lunch. lunches at both elementary and middle and high school. So all the grade spans, there would be about a 60-cent increase from last school year. So since I've been here, which is 6 years, and even prior to that, we've not increased meal prices. But I mean, families already know that things are getting tough.
Yes.
It's getting harder and harder, more expensive. And we also, in order to keep up with some of the menu items that the students are asking for, we have to find a way to ensure that we can pay for those menu items. And so you'd see just a 60-cent increase for both middle, elementary,
And high
and
school.
high schools. Yeah.
And I think you see that at the grocery store as well as restaurants.
Yep.
So 60 cents, I think, in comparison to what you're seeing at the grocery store as well as at restaurants is probably
And I did a
small.
cost analysis. So even if, let's say, we have what we call bento boxes, so grab and go lunch boxes for the kids, really and truly, that has a sandwich and has a milk, have fruits and vegetables in there. I did a cost analysis and a cost comparison. So at the elementary level, one of those will cost a child who is not at a CEP school, will cost them $2.70 for that lunch. But if mom and dad were to pack that lunch for that child, that same comparison would be about $3.85. All the way up to $5.75 was the most expensive thing that we
So it's
have.
still
of
a
those
better
bento
deal.
So it's still a better deal for families to go ahead and say, hey, my $5.75 times 5 times for the week versus paying $2.70 or $2.85 in a high school times 5 times per week or times 156 days for the school year. How many ever days we are in school this school year? That's a savings.
Yes.
And everything matters in this day and age. So it's a savings however you look at it.
So I was the kid that ate school lunch every day.
Good.
So elementary through high
That's
school.
great.
So that was me. So
Yeah.
I always looked forward to it every day.
Yeah.
So
It used to be one of those things, Jen, that it wasn't cool to eat school lunch. But we're bringing cool back in school lunch. I tell you, we have menu items and those bento boxes that are designed for our athletes. We have athletes' input on what they wanted to see in those meals. And we took their needs because we know athletes need more protein. So therefore, we have these bento boxes that have more protein items in them, packed with protein. So we are listening to our students and we're trying to make school lunch cool again.
Well, and one of the things too that I don't know that people realize is that I also utilize your services for sometimes when I have events. So for catering and opportunities and different things, I also utilize school nutrition as well. And Craven Q has been fabulous to work with.
Yeah.
And so I really have a great time whenever I can showcase your talents as well as your staff so that people know not only can school nutrition be nutritious, but it can also be delicious.
Yes, thank you.
And
That's
so,
great.
yes.
That's great.
So,
And we use a lot of local too, Jen. That's the next plug. We have that farm to school week where we serve 100% local on our menu for that week. But throughout the school year, we have local. I mean, probably a few times, a few menu items a week at least. Sometimes it's every day we have a local local sourced item on the menu for students. So we are really doing the best that we can to support our local farming community. We have local farmers in Craven County that we use a lot of their products as well. So
well, that's fabulous. You're making my stomach growl right now. So is there anything else with back to school that you want to share so that everybody has the information so that they know that they can have the meals that their student needs to be able to be successful and that their stomachs are full and that they can concentrate on learning?
I think, Jen, we've really covered that in great depth. I am so appreciative of the families who have eaten with us, who have allowed their kids to eat with us, and we just look forward to serving your students and seeing their faces come Monday, August 26th. And please let them eat with us.
One other thing that I did want to mention,
Yeah.
the applications for
That's right.
free and reduced meals. Is that still the same process? Do people still have to do that?
That's exactly right. So if your child, after we've posted those schools that are CEP has that
They don't
that
have to do
program,
that, right?
They do not have to submit an application, and we do have those applications online as well. You don't have to submit both. You don't have to do an application online and do a paper application. When you submit the application online, that comes to the inbox of the person who processes them immediately, and she is very meticulous. So when she has those applications in her mailbox, she processes them right away. So, but just keep in mind, even if you didn't get it right away, you have 10 days. I think for the most part, they have 30 days actually to eat on their prior status. So if you feel like, guess what? I just can't get to that right now. If your child was on a free or reduced status last school year, they have a grace period this upcoming school year for you to get that application in. We would feed them based on their prior meal status.
So the CEP schools do not have to complete
the application,
but our other 10 schools, they do need
That's
to.
exactly right.
Okay.
That's exactly right.
Sure we
Yep,
get that
that's
information
exactly
out
right. So
correctly.
try to complete it as soon as possible. You don't want to miss a beat. You don't want your child to, so do that. And if you have never done that before, but you think, hey, times are getting
Right.
hard, you just never know. So if you feel like, hey, we are in that, there is an online, you would see we provide that schedule of what may qualify you.
Okay.
So there are qualifying factors in terms of with your income, and you can look at that income guidelines, and you can see if you fall into that category of being eligible. We have a lot of folks who are just,
Not certain.
not right on the cusp. But just go ahead and put the application, and you just never know. Some things might have changed from last year, so
Right.
you just
don't
never
know unless you apply.
apply. That's exactly right.
Well, great. Well, thank you for all the important information. I can't wait to eat at School Nutrition
Yay!
for the 24-25 school year. So thanks again.
Thank you, Jen. Thanks for having me.